Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ring Ready Live, the home of the owner handler, brought to you by Showsite Magazine. I'm Dan Sayers here as usual with Lee Whittier, the dog show mentor. And you are joining us today for episode 10 in our conversations about all things owner handlers. Lee, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great and I'm excited to be here. I just got back from Alaska and I had a great assignment there.
Wonderful. We'll look forward to hearing a little bit about your discoveries up there. Again, we want to thank everyone for joining us here for episode 10. We really appreciate your support, and most of all, we appreciate your participation. So please remember to let us know where you are, what is your breed, and feel free to leave a comment for us. Lee and I always love to hear from you. If you have any questions about what we're talking about today, we would love to hear your questions, and time permitting, we will get to them and Lee will answer. So thank you very much again for joining us. You can also post questions and comments throughout the week at ringready@showsitemagazine.com. And Lee, you also have a public Facebook page for non-members. Maybe a little reminder about that for our listeners.
A dog show mentor owner handlers. Just come on in, answer the membership questions, please. It always helps me to know, what your needs are, and so that I can answer your questions. And so, just come and join the group. And I see we've got lots of people coming on and saying their breed and their state. Thank you all. Denise and Susan from South Carolina. I noticed that Renee mentioned Alaska, and I had a fantastic time with wonderful dogs. So thank you.
Lee, I too was at shows this past weekend. I was in Pennsylvania and had a wonderful time. Beautiful entry, amazing collection of dogs each day. And while I was out there, I learned that one of our new employees has relocated from Texas to Pennsylvania. So I just want to take a moment, if we may, to give a shout out to Showsite's newest client relationship managers, Ryan Tapera, who is now in Pennsylvania. Ryan, if you're watching, hello.
Ryan.
And Megan Parati Teacher, who is going to be the client relationships manager, focusing on helping you, the owner handler and breeder owner handlers. So you can reach out to Megan if you want to be part of advertising your team and your wins in Ring Ready. And you can send Megan a note. She is available at megan@showsitemagazine.com. And she and Ryan are currently booking ads for the June issue. And they'll be accepting those ads through Friday, the 4th. So anyway, welcome again, Ryan and Megan. We're happy to have you as part of Showsite, and Megan as part of Ring Ready Live. So before we get to the question today, today's topic is really a wonderful topic. It is about finding a mentor and really how to be a mentor. Lee, you're the dog show mentor, so this is the topic right up your alley, and you are the expert, so I can't wait to hear what you have to say. But before we get to that, we just had a pair of questions that came through last week, and one of those, Lee, was from Alexandra, and she's asking, what are some strategies to cope with the disappointment when you aren't winning and you're getting little feedback about your dog?
So Alexandra, thank you for your question. And strategies to cope with disappointment when you aren't winning and not getting feedback. And so my question to you is, who do you want feedback from and about what? So are you looking for feedback from friends? Are you looking for feedback from judges? What are you looking for? And so the first thing I would say to you is, of course, find a mentor, and we're going to talk more about that later. But the other thing is, go back to your standard. And if you want feedback, the best feedback will come from yourself and your own evaluation of your dog. Particularly if you can get someone to video your dog in the ring. Watch what the judge does, watch where the judge's hands are, where they pause. If they pause, they're either looking at something really beautiful or they're evaluating something quizzically that maybe they're seeing or feeling that they question in some way. So as far as your disappointment goes, you just got to get your grit going. And that's what we do at Dog Show Mentors. We get our grit going. And we have a community of people. So find yourself 5 people who you feel are really positive and forward thinking in the sport. You can come to Dog Show Mentor. We have a community of people who rally around each other and help each other at shows and are positive and encouraging to each other and help each other get over that disappointment so that they can get their grit on and get going forward again. So I hope that helps.
It helped me, Lee. Actually, you said something there where if you're really paying attention, the judges are always giving feedback. They're giving feedback with their hands, aren't they? And you gave that perfect example of how when you as a judge are pausing, you're giving feedback. You're giving information not only to the owner handler of that particular dog, but to anyone watching. I love that. So thank you. One other question came through from Renee, and Lee, this one is also right up your alley. Renee has a bitch that's getting excited. She's saying overly friendly when the judge approaches, and she takes her to show and goes. When the instructor approaches, her bitch wants to greet, but the second time in the third go around, she's saying she's fine. So in other words, she's settling in. She takes her to Lowe's. She lets her greet as many people as she can. And she's currently teaching her head forward, but she's super excited to meet new people. Sounds like she's over the top, this puppy. Any advice for Renee, Lee?
I think everybody who's been in the sport has had this problem at one point or another. And it's a good problem to have. And also it depends on the breed. And if it's a big dog, it's obviously a lot more of an issue than if you've got a table breed. So not knowing your breed, that's a little bit difficult. But, in any training, you just break down the pieces, just break it down into the different steps, and that's how I train. Is I break everything down into step by step by step. Break it into pieces. Don't try to do the whole thing at once. And get people to help you break it down. So that's my best advice, is to find a mentor and figure out how to get help from your Fave 5, your people around you who are helpful in your community, and break that down into training pieces.
Excellent advice, as always. Thank you, Lee. Before we get to the question, I just want to talk about a poll that appeared on ShowSight's Facebook page, where we were asking our readers who their mentors are. Do they have a mentor? How do they find their mentor? That poll was up this past week. Lee, do you have anything that you can report on the results from that poll?
Well, most of the people who responded have a mentor. The overwhelming majority have a mentor in either their breed or as a conformation or handling mentor. And only a couple said they didn't have a mentor. So on the one hand, I view that as good. That's a good thing. And I'd like to see everybody have a mentor in breed, a mentor in conformation, and obviously Dog Show mentor. Because that, and we're going to get to that later about how I view getting a mentor. But I think the overwhelming poll, and the poll's still open. We'd love to hear from you. We want to hear your needs. And if the overwhelming number of people need a breed mentor, then we want to help you hook up with someone good if we can. And if you need a handling class mentor, we want to try to hook you up with somebody who can do that. And if you want a dog show mentor who can help you with the bigger picture, then we can do that. So we want to know what your needs are. And if you'd like help. I mean, do you want us to, reach out? You could reach out to me privately if you need a breed mentor. I know a lot of people around the country.
And I know a dog show mentor too. So anyone, if you want a little tip, there's somebody sitting right over here who is the dog show mentor, and she is the greatest resource that you can find. And if she can help you, nobody can. But Lee, as you just said, you can put them in touch with somebody local. And for those who answered our poll and said that they did not have a mentor, we'd love to know why not, because our community is sort of organically producing mentors all the time. And I can say with certainty that not only do you need mentors in the ring, in the all breed arena, and for specialties as well, but also in the whelping box as well. If you are a breeder, owner, handler, you're going to need a mentor for sure, because every breeding, every whelping, every moment of the time that you spend with those puppies, getting them ready for the ring, you're going to need some help. And having a mentor who has been there, done that, is really going to be essential for your success. And of course, that is true when your puppy is ring ready. So mentors, that's what we're all about here. And
I just want to say that we're getting a lot of comments here that I would love to pick up on. Lois says, be a kind mentor. Remember, everyone loves their dog. Honesty doesn't have to devastate. Amen, Lois. Thank you. That is such a great comment. And it's true. It's so important to be kind to people because, and as a judge, I realize this, and it sometimes put me in a difficult position. Everyone loves their dog. And they want their dog to win and be beautiful, because although you're at a show for fun, part of fun is winning, right? I mean, you don't want to go and lose every time. And so we as judges want to encourage people, but sometimes the dogs aren't of the quality. I'm sure most of the people here do have quality dogs and are committed to the sport in some way. And I see we've got Detroit Bordeaux, and we've got Pete. Oh, you're welcome, Pete. And then Megan Lorraine says, mentoring is so incredibly important. A family approach, in quotes, is such a wonderful and inclusive way to encourage new people to grow up in the sport. Absolutely. Yes, that's how to encourage people.
Okay. Yes. Well, let's get right to today's question.
Okay. Let's do that.
So today's topic is about mentoring, as we've been discussing. And I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted here, but let me just get to the question, Lee. Can you share a story about how one of your mentors helped you when you were a novice owner handler?
I can. Before I do, though, I would like to really encourage people to put in the chat if you have a mentor or if you've had a mentoring experience that you want to share with us. We want, even if we can't read it right now, while we're live, we really want to know for the future what your stories are, because they're all important. So please post your comments in the chat about that while I'm addressing this. So your question was, who were my mentors in the sport? And I had several. I had a breed mentor who was a very successful Rottweiler breeder, and I actually had two. And one taught me about structure and movement, and really bred incredibly sound dogs, and particularly for the time, Rottweilers were going through a stage where they were pretty unsound. And then I had another mentor on the other coast who taught me more about breed type and really focused on type. And so when I did my breedings, I was able to really understand that you can't separate breed type from movement. Movement is part of breed type. And I also had mentors who I would go to shows with, and they'd show me how to do stuff and how to groom for the ring, and taught me the ropes, really. And, how to put a crate in the car, really basic things. So I had multiple mentors, and in the end, and this is sort of a left turn here, Dan, that's going to surprise you. In the end, the reason I started Dog Show Mentor was because I found myself at that time not getting enough, not knowing enough, not learning enough, and not understanding, even in spite of that great mentoring, understanding what the judge was looking for, and what I brought to the ring and how that affected the outcome. I had to really bring it. I was expecting the judges to find my dog.
Yes.
It's, you got to present your dog. And so I didn't really, I knew you had to show it, and I knew you had to, make sure your dog looked good and go straight down and back. I learned all that stuff, right? But I didn't get the real meat of the approach of showing dogs. And that's why I started Dog Show Mentor. So that's the nut of it, Dan, is that I had great mentors in what they taught me, but in the end I needed more. And I wish that I'd had somebody who could really let me understand.
Well, you are that somebody. And I know that you can, if you see that there's a void, you find a way to fill it. If there's a need, Lee Whittier, if there's a problem, you do your best to solve it. And I think that's what every owner handler is trying to do. That is what I know the folks who come and listen to you each week are looking to do, looking for solutions to their problems, looking for encouragement, looking for a family that supports them, and ultimately looking for a mentor who can guide them.
Well, yes, but I want to be really clear here that I don't solve your problems for you. I empower you to solve your problems yourself so that you feel and understand, rather than my fixing it for you. It's a real distinction here, that I provide you with a lot of information and guidance that will help you win more in the ring. But you have to do it yourself, because that's how you can take that with you forever. You can take this information with you and use it.
So everyone who's watching, everyone who's listening, they can do it. Whatever they are experiencing with their dogs, whatever their goals are, it's all possible. Just need a bit of help, a little bit of information, a little bit of coaching that a Dog Show Mentor provides. And while you were talking, Lee, I was thinking that, at every show you go to, your next mentor could be one setup away. It could be that man or that woman at the next table, somebody sitting down having lunch. You don't know. If you hear a conversation that's speaking to you, introduce yourself and say hello. And, people at dog shows are very busy, very stressed often, but I've learned that everybody really does want to be helpful. They truly do. And as I said, that mentor may be just waiting for you to say hello. So I encourage everyone, reach out to them. And again, reach out to us here at Ring Ready Live, and to Lee the dog show mentor. So Lee, that's really insightful. Any other questions coming in?
Yeah, lots. So Detroit Bordeaux says, I'm new at showing my dog to Bordeaux. There's so much to learn. I sometimes feel overwhelmed. And I want to tell you, you're not alone. We all feel overwhelmed at times. I feel overwhelmed at times, trust me. And so what we do is we break that down into action steps that you can take that will help you focus on the action instead of the overwhelm. And Karen says, my mentor gave up and had zero interest in showing or helping anymore. And it's disappearing on the screen. She wanted to do different things, taking handling and grooming lessons from a professional handler in my breed. That's good. And Carolyn says, what are your thoughts if someone who can no longer walk well enough to show their dog, but wants to show in conformation by using an electric chair or scooter? I've been mentored by several successful people in my breed and others, blah, blah, blah. I think it's great. Come on in, train your dog to work with a scooter. And I've seen some beautiful dogs that have won in my ring. And I think that the advice is usually to try to be at the end of the line so that there's a flow, but it doesn't diminish in any way your chances of winning, because as I said, I've seen some people with beautiful dogs with scooters. So yeah, come on, that's great.
We'd love to hear from anyone who has a mentor, who has stuck by you and you by them. Even if you've been in the breed just a very short while, hopefully your dog's breeder is a mentor. And if not, as I said, there's always somebody waiting to help you with whatever questions you may have. My first mentor was, of course, my dog's breeder. And I found that even after nearly 40 years, I'm still being mentored by people within my breed, and certainly with those outside of my breed as well. Beautiful thing about our sport is there's always something to learn and always something that can be helpful to us. We never get to a point where we know everything, largely because we live in a world of change, but also every dog's needs are unique and different. And
they are. And I have another story that I can tell that. So this is a couple of years ago. So, I do sort of try to fly under the wire when I'm at shows. I set up in a quiet place. And so I was at a show in California, and I set up in a quiet place with my dog, and I was grooming, and the lady next to me also had a coated breed, and she didn't know me and she didn't ask my name, but she said, hey, would you like some tips? And, I didn't say anything. I just said, sure. And she just came out with all these interesting tips on code. And we had such a nice weekend together. And at the end of it, she gave me her card and she said, let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. And, I was so grateful to have a kind person next to me. And I wanted to hear everything she had to say that was unfiltered, right? Yes. Not like, oh, this is a multi-group judge, I can't give you tips, right? Or, oh, I don't want to say that because. No, it just, the whole thing was an unfiltered experience, and still we see each other and we smile, and we've never said anything about it. We just, we're just sort of like, yeah, okay. I don't particularly judge her breed, but it was a great experience. So, if you see somebody, reach out, even if they might know a little bit, what you want to tell them. Just reach out and have a chat. It's really fun.
It is fun, and I really enjoyed that story, Lee. You know, when I was at the shows this past weekend in Western Pennsylvania, a number of our viewers came up and said hello and how much they enjoy the conversation we have each week. And I want to encourage all of you, if you see Lee or myself at a show, we'd love for you to come up and say hi. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what you would like us to talk about. We're having meetings currently for our next series of conversations. And if you have ideas that are important to you about topics that you think Lee ought to be visiting, reach out to us and let us know. And you can do that at ringroady@showsitemagazine.com. And of course, you can get in touch with Lee directly as well. And so
I see we have another question here. Do you, as a judge, ever tell someone why they didn't place? And I think that's a really good question. I don't particularly encourage people to go up to judge and say, what didn't you like about my dog? Or, you know, if you listen to the first several Facebook Lives that we did, if you hear my comments about that, I do occasionally, when I see a dog that's really of a good quality but maybe needs some maturity, I want to encourage that person to show that dog and let them know that they just need some maturity, and maybe watch more carefully how the dog is standing, because I want dogs like that and I want to place them, but I can't if they're standing with 2 feet in the hole, for example. Mm-hmm. So occasionally I will to encourage someone. So we're almost out of time, Dan.
Well, I want to thank you, Lee, for today's show. This was our 10th time together. Actually, 9th, because I missed you last week. As seems to happen, I had some technical difficulties, but I was able to watch you, Lee, as a viewer, as our audience watches the two of us. And it was really a pleasure to watch you through Facebook Live. It was an interesting experience, and you handled it masterfully. And I was able to really understand and appreciate what our audience comes to hear from you each week. And we're really grateful to those of you who are here and who have been with us from the beginning. We are looking forward to the future here at Ring Ready Live. If you want to appear in Ring Ready, the magazine, you can reach Megan. And I mentioned Ryan earlier. He will be the client relationship manager for some of the pros, but Megan will be talking to you, the owner handlers and the breeder owner handlers. And Lee Whittier, of course, is always available to you as the dog show mentor. So Lee, thank you so very much. This was a very exciting topic of conversation. And as per usual, you provided a lot of great insights through your stories and your experience as a judge and an owner.
And I hope people will feel free to reach out to me. I do provide a few minutes of laser coaching or assistance for people who would like some assistance. So please feel free to get in touch, and we will read and answer some of these questions next week that have come in. And we will be, Dog Show Mentor is having another event this summer. So watch out for that. Probably it will be July. I haven't set a date yet. So watch out for that on Facebook. All right. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee.
And thank you, Showsight Magazine.
And Alex, our producer, thank you for bringing us together every week. So until next week, thank you all for tuning in. Remember to have fun with your dogs.
See you in the winner's circle.